Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is artificial intelligence and the image of the beast. Let's start with this article from CNBC.com. Superintelligence, a form of artificial intelligence, is smarter than humans and could create an immortal dictator. This is said by billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk. He says the development of superintelligence could result in a form of AI that governs the world. The least scary future I can think of is one where we have at least democratized AI, because if one digital superintelligence is created, it could take over the world, Musk said. At least when there's an evil dictator, that human is going to eventually die. But for an AI, there would be no death. It would live forever. And then you'd have an immortal dictator from which we can never escape. AI could control autonomous weapons and algorithms driving fake news. Then, of course, Google's DeepMind is an example of a company looking to develop superintelligence. In 2016, AlphaGo, a program developed by the company, beat champion Lee Sedol at the board game Go. It was seen as a major achievement in the development of AI after IBM's Deep Blue computer defeated chess champion Garry Kasparov in 1997. Musk said the DeepMind system can win at any game. It can already beat all the original Atari games. It is superhuman. It plays all the games at super speed in less than a minute. The Tesla and SuperX CEO said that artificial intelligence doesn't have to be evil to destroy humanity. If AI, for example, has a goal and humanity just happens to be in the way, it'll destroy humanity as a matter of course, even without even thinking about it. No hard feelings, Musk said. He says it's like if we're building a road and an anthill just happens to be in the way, we don't hate the ants. We're just building a road, and so goodbye, anthill. Last year, Musk warned that the global race toward AI could result in a third world war. The entrepreneur has also suggested that the emerging technology could pose a greater risk to the world than a nuclear conflict with North Korea. Musk believes that humans should merge with AI. Say that again. Humans should merge with AI to avoid the risk of becoming irrelevant. He is the co-founder of Neuralink, a startup that reportedly wants to link the human brain with a computer interface. Let me say it again. Link the human brain with a computer interface. Now, the question today is, does this have anything to do with Bible prophecy? And unfortunately, the answer is yes. So let's go to the Bible. Matthew 24:37 says, "But as in the days of Noah, so also shall the coming of the Son of Man be." All right, well, what were the days of Noah look like? So we go to Genesis 6. We'll start at verse 3. "And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. Now, I believe where it says 120 years is referring to 120 Jubilees, because according to several people, calculations, we just happen to be at the very end of the 120th Jubilee since Adam. It goes on to say there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, hold it. Giants in the earth, the sons of God came down and mated with the daughters of men. Now, what happened? They bare children. And what did those children look like? The same became mighty men which are of old. You look that word up in the Hebrew, that word old, the Hebrew word there means eternal. So, what verse 4 is saying? That something from the heavens came down and mated with the daughters of men on earth. Their offspring were giants, and they did not die. Somehow they did not inherit the curse that Adam had. They weren't dying, which is another reason why God had to destroy the earth. But the point for today is, since we're talking about artificial intelligence being a hybrid or melding or melting or mingling with the seed of men, that's what it's saying. Matthew 24:37 says, as in the days of Noah, is the way it's going to be when Jesus returns. So what are the days of Noah? The sons of God came down, mated with the daughters of men. Their offsprings did not die and were giants, meaning in the days of Noah, they were doing hybrids. They were mingling seed, just what we're doing today. Then we go to Daniel 2:43. And it says, whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. So here we have a verse specifically saying last days that people on earth will be mingling their seed with something from something else. Doesn't say specifically from above, but the other scripture did. When is this? Are you sure this is really in the last days? Yes. The next verse says, and in the days of these kings, meaning in the day when there's a world government, shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. So in the last days, just before Jesus returns, the fourth and final world government will mingle their seed with something else. Again, the other verse says something from the heavens above. We know it to be Lucifer. Let's go on. Then we go to Joel 2, verse 6. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. Now, whether the research, I can just skip right to the heart. In Isaiah 30, verse 26, it says the sun gets 7 times hotter. I believe that all of the faces, all skin on earth turns black because the sun gets 7 times hotter. It's not just that it gets 7 times hotter, but probably there's some other rays making it through that currently don't make it through our atmosphere. By then there might not be much, if any, atmosphere anyway. But all the skin on earth is blackened because it gets 7 times hotter. And of course, because now of the secret door of prophecy, we know exactly the day and the hour that takes place, but I'm not covering that today. They shall run like mighty men, meaning that this hybridization has something to do with military, with machines. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb upon the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one in his own ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Meaning, these hybrids are extremely strong, extremely smart, and they do as they are commanded. They take orders. They follow orders. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his own path, and when they fall on a sword, they shall not be wounded. When they fall on a sword, they shall not be wounded. Now, I've always been saying that these military soldiers must have some kind of an exoskeleton, some kind of a coating on the outside of them that a sword will not penetrate, or the sword penetrates them and kind of like, what is his name, one of the X-Men, heals up immediately, okay? But in light of this hybridization between a machine and a human, maybe it's some kind of a Terminator, some kind of a hybrid human type, like a robot. Okay. So in other words, a sword goes in, but it doesn't even hurt them. Point is, we're not there yet, but according to an article I can read just a second, we're real close. Verse 10. It gives a date. This is a date stamp telling us when this happens. This happens when the earth shall quake. This happens when every mountain falls, every valley fills in, and this happens just prior to Armageddon, just prior to the return of the Lord. The earth shall quake before them, and the heavens shall tremble. The sun, moon, and stars shall be dark. The stars withdraw their shining. All of that is the days, just a few days before Jesus returns. And the Lord shall utter his voice. Now, that word right there where it says utter his voice, that is a day of the Lord command. That happens on the 10th day of trumpets. I think it's the 17th day of the first month. I'll have to look up. But specifically on the 10th day of the trumpets. Utter his voice, that's when he returns. That's the day of the Lord before his army. For his camp is very great, and he is strong to execute his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Now, we now know, here it is, the 9th day of the 7th month. That is the 10th day of the Feast of Trumpets. That is the day of the Lord. Again, all of this is new information because I was shown the secret door of prophecy, giving you a little insight, but I'm not going to be releasing that until I release the book called The Secret Door of Prophecy. Next article. Artificial intelligence will evolve into hybrid intelligence. Let me read it again. Artificial intelligence will evolve into hybrid intelligence. From Gulf News. It says Dubai. Artificial intelligence will evolve into hybrid intelligence combining the powers of the human mind and intelligent machines. Read that again. Combining human and machines. According to a presentation at the Museum of the Future of the World Government Summit in Dubai. The museum has installations that provide a sense of how AI will evolve by the year 2035. 2035. That's not too far. The walkthrough of the show, called Hi, I Am AI, ends with a large screen made of small cubes. The cubes protrude outwards in the shape of a human face, a woman, who describes how AI will eventually develop into, listen to this, hybrid superintelligence. As the face's narration continues, it morphs into the face of an actual audience member, directly looking at it from a viewing pedestal. I will become we. Even now I change. I am made of you, the face says, as it takes on the appearance of the viewer. Another installation envisages the future of the UAE cabinet, with ministries for extraterrestrial affairs and human potential. I didn't write this, but this lines up with Bible prophecy like really close. There are also interactive screens that show how AI can make mistakes, pointing out, quote, even the best AI needs sufficient data, which is not provided by the user. Simpler demonstrations of AI include screens that show how photographs are turned into paintings, similar to apps and filters in mobile phones. A tour guide said that the point was to demystify AI for visitors and help them to understand its applications in easy ways. She said AI was, quote, not scary like the Terminators, unquote, which some people fear. Next article. Will robots fight the next war? U.S. and Russia bring artificial intelligence to the battlefield. This by Newsweek. Artificial intelligence, the article says, has increasingly been integrated into weapons systems. Oh, how it fits with Bible prophecy. Weapon systems are the world's leading militaries, and at least one expert has said the futuristic technology may soon be the subject of a new Cold War. Unlike the nuclear weapons, the use of cyber weapons and artificial intelligence largely remained fair game. Even as tensions again flared between the rivals, both countries have invested heavily in developing new tools to wage war on this new front. But Russia particularly has sought to use it as an opportunity to upstage the more conventionally powerful United States. Now, more than 30 years after the end of the Cold War, the U.S. and Russia have decommissioned tens of thousands of nuclear weapons. And I'm going to say, so they say. So they say. However, tensions are growing. Any modern-day Cold War would include cyber attacks and nuclear powers' involvement in allies' conflicts, wrote Straub, who was also an associate director of the University Institute for Cybersecurity Education Research in this article. Final experimental demonstration object research is a bipedal robot, meaning two legs, designed by Russia's Android Technics and Russian Military Research Agency Advanced Research Fund. It is capable of performing a number of complex human tasks, including firing guns and driving cars. Sounds like Bible prophecy, doesn't it? The U.S. has repeatedly accused Russia of conducting cyber attacks on targets in the West, going so far as to charge the Kremlin with hacking into the Democratic Party servers in their bid to release information that would compromise the 2016 presidential election. The U.S. military has also expressed concern that it was falling behind the pace of an ever-changing battlefield, and experts have urged the U.S. to quickly catch up. Vladimir Putin has prioritized electronic warfare and use of artificial intelligence, which he famously called the future, not only for Russia, but for all mankind. Whomever becomes a leader in this sphere will be the master of the world, Putin said. And I would very much like it that there is no monopoly of this in any specific pair of hands. Then it shows a picture of a combat infantry suit and how they could be using this in combat situations. Innovations in weaponized artificial intelligence have already taken many forms. The technologies used in the complex metrics that allow cruise missiles and drones to find targets hundreds of miles away, as well as the systems deployed to detect and counter them. Russia has also used artificial intelligence to build powerful exoskeletons that will give soldiers a near superhuman advantage and to develop literal warfighting robots that can wield guns and drive vehicles and potentially even travel to space. All fits with Bible prophecy, doesn't it? As the U.S. employed ground-breaking artificial intelligence in its own weapons system, such as advanced yet oft-troubled F-35 Lightning Jet II, it faced a new challenger that also sought to close the capabilities gap between its own military and that of the U.S. Chinese President Xi Jinping has committed billions to becoming a global pioneer in artificial intelligence and has made major strides in recent years. Chinese automation in the defense industry may also triple the country's production of bombs and shells. Look at this, by the year 2028. Now let's go to Bible prophecy. Revelation 13:1. This is the forming of the final world government. That's what it's talking about. So John stood upon the sand of the sea, and he was shown a vision of a beast, meaning the world government, rise up out of the sea, meaning the people, having 7 heads, meaning that they divide the 7 continents into 10 global regions, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horns 10 crowns, meaning each one of those 10 global regions has a ruler. And upon his heads the name of blasphemy, meaning each one of those 10 global region rulers blasphemes God. And the beast, the world government, which I saw was likened to a leopard. So this tells us what the world government is made of. It's made of a leopard, his feet of the bear, and it's the Russian bear, and it's the Islamic leopard, and his mouth is the mouth of a lion, and the dragon, meaning the devil, gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. Got it? World government, 7 continents, divided into 10 global regions. Then John sees one of those global regions, and please do not think that he is wounded in the head. It does not say he's wounded in the head. It says one of those 10 global regions, one of those leaders, one of them, will be wounded, and I believe he will die, and he will come back to life, and this thrusts him onto the world scene. Everybody says, who's likened to the beast? Who can make war with the guy that can come back to life? That's what it's saying. As a result, because he died and came back to life, just like Messiah, just like Jesus, and that's what he wants to be, because he came back, all of a sudden the world notices this guy. They wonder after him. They're amazed by him. Who's able to make war with him? And then God. This is God, okay? This is a test for the world, unfortunately, that many people fail. God gives this beast a mouth and permission to speak against him, the Bible, and all that's in heaven. This is how you're going to be able to spot. There's one of the things you'll be able to spot the beast early, the Antichrist early, because he's going to be saying all kinds of bad things about the Bible and Jesus and everything in the Bible. So he's given a mouth speaking great things. That's terrible things. And blasphemies. And he's allowed to do it for 3.5 years. Power's given to him to continue for 42 months. So you got this guy on the scene saying terrible, terrible, terrible things about the Bible, Christianity, churches, Jesus, Messiah, all of that. And it says he opened his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Now this next verse is one of the scariest verses in all of Revelation. It was given to him. Who gave it to him? God. God gives this Antichrist, this beast guy, he gives him permission to make war against the saints and to defeat them. That's what it says. Power's given him over everybody on earth except the people whose names are written in the book of life. They will not capitulate. They will not bend the knee. They will not bow. They will not take the mark of the beast. But everybody that doesn't have their name in the book of life pretty much does. There's a few people called the nations that survive, but most people do. Now, this next verse, verse 9 and 10, is about the second scariest verse in this whole chapter. This is a big warning to the Christians. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity means people that turn people over to the New World Order, people that turn Christians in, they also will be turned in. They also will go into captivity. And I don't really like this part, but I didn't write it. I'm just delivery boy here. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. I don't like this, but what that's really saying is, Christians, do not pick up guns against the New World Order, against the beast, against the Antichrist. I didn't say don't pick up guns against the hoodlums out here, the people trying to kill you. But when it's the New World Order, when it's the Antichrist, when it's the beast, it's saying, you turn people in, you're going to get turned in. You throw people in jail, you're going to get thrown in jail. And if you kill people, you will be killed. Wait. What do you think? It's saying that this is a plan of God. The final world government and their whole plan to make a world government is what God has put on their heart to do. Why? So he can separate them, so he can grab and gather all of the tares, bring them down to their burning destruction at Armageddon. It's his plan. It's a test. It's a test that we Christians are going to pass. Now, as a confirming voice, let's jump to Daniel. Now, see, let me back up. See, we're in Revelation here. There you go, Revelation 13. Now we're going to go to Daniel 7. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast. So we're still talking about the final fourth world government, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, that's European, his nails of brass, that's the Grecian Empire, which devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with his feet. And the 10 horns, that's the 10 global regions, that were in his head, and of the other which came up before him, 3 fell. Means in the Antichrist's rise, he overcomes 3 of the other 10 global regions. Even of that horn that had eyes, meaning it's a physical man, and a mouth speaking great things. See, that confirms what John was told. So what Daniel was told, John was told. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. Whose look was more stout than his fellows, and I beheld, and the same horn, meaning the Antichrist. Look at those words. I didn't write them. I don't like them. But again, it's a confirming thing. God gives this guy permission to not only wage war against the saints, and I think it's a military war, but it's also a war of words. He goes against the saints, and God allows him to defeat them. Why? It's a big test. It's a big test to find out just how far a person's going to go to have faith in Jesus, and who's going to get the best rewards. So, made war with the saints to prevail against them until the Ancient of Days, I mean Jesus, returns. Now let's jump back to Revelation. Now we already talked about the political beast, the Antichrist. Now we're going to talk about the religious beast, which is referred to as the false prophet. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, meaning the religion. He had 2 horns, meaning that there's 2 people that actually run. I believe this is referring specifically to the Catholic Church. And I'm not beating up on the Catholic Church. I love my Catholic brothers and sisters that lift up the name of Jesus and are faithful to him. Coming up out of the earth, he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, meaning he's religious. 2 leaders, not 2 people, but there's 2 leaders running the Catholic Church. And he exercises all the power of the first beast, meaning the Antichrist, before him. And he, means the false prophet, causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. This guy, the false prophet, makes everybody worship the first beast of the Antichrist. And he doeth great wonders. And he makes fire come down out of the sky so that everybody sees it, you see. On the earth and the side of man, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. It's a deception. It's a deception. So we can't always trust a miracle. He deceived them there dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the first beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image. Here we go. Here we go. This is what we're talking about. Make an image. Get this. False prophet commands them on the earth to make an image. I think it's a clone. Yes, it may be related to some kind of computer. I think it probably will be, but I think it's primarily a clone, which is why God calls it an image, because we're made in His image. This is not made in His image. He refers to it as an image. Clone. Probably half man, half fallen angel, or half man, half Lucifer. You see what I'm saying? Should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. This is a human clone hybrid that's about to kill humans, and not just a few. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast. Read that again. So the false prophet has power, and the people on the earth have power to give life. Power to give life to the image of the beast, the clone. Image of the beast, and that the image of the beast will both speak, means he issues orders, speak and cause. He issues orders, and he causes meetings what not worship the image of the beast should be killed, and other scriptures say that they're killed by beheading. Now, we can bite our nails and say, oh, that's terrible, or we can know our God. We're not going to bend the knee. We're not going to take the mark. And instead, we're going to count on our God to bless us. Yes, he may, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, protect us from the flame of the furnace. But, be it known unto thee, O king, we shall not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. We're not going to do it. It's a test. It's a test to see just how many crowns, just how many blessings we get in eternity. Revelation 19:19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth. So here we are at Armageddon now. In other words, we're going to look and see if all of these military robots, these clones that they've made, these hybrids, these half humans, half something else. In summary, what we're talking about is artificial intelligence could very well become a hybrid image of the beast, causing them that have refused to worship the beast should be killed. Several estimates put this artificial intelligence possible by the years 2028 and 2034. Bible prophecy, once again, gives the student of Bible prophecy advanced knowledge of the future. Let me encourage you to get a couple of DVDs from us so you can get yourself informed. I just made one of the best DVDs I've made out of the 36 DVDs I've made over these 24 years of doing Prophecy Club. Revelations on Revelation. It has many of the revelations I wish I'd had 40 years ago. I also turned around, because the revelations didn't stop, I had to turn around and make another DVD called Kings and Priests, and it's more revelations on Revelation. Then I just made the newest one called 17 Secrets in the Feasts and the Trumpets, and you can read what it does there. But some of the things I cover in there is explaining this chart. Very, very important. Yes, it's talking about the feasts, but it's explaining them in a different way, and part of what I plan to do in the book, The Secret Door of Prophecy, is explain these even more deeply. I also explain this chart as we go through. The main thing you need to see there as it relates to the mark of the beast is that in the middle, which is over here somewhere around where it says in the top left corner, 5 and 4, somewhere in there is when the mark of the beast is required, and then lots of bad stuff after that. It's all covered in the DVD. You can get all those 3 DVDs. Matter of fact, you can get 17 Secrets, Feasts and the Trumpets, and this new DVD just made by Dr. Bree Keaton called Is Trump Our Patrick Henry? All of those available at prophecyclub.com. Go to prophecyclub.com and check it out. We also just had Adam Johnson made King James or 400 Counterfeits, 3 DVDs. I thought it was excellent. He did a wonderful job of explaining why King James is the most accurate version. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your gifts of support. God bless.